Hey guys, how are you doing? Today in this video we are going to talk about rare earth metals. Amid China-US trade war, China recently put export restrictions on 7 out of 17 rare earth metals and therefore sending shockwaves across global tech, defense and clean energy sector. But what are rare earth metals and why is India suddenly in the spotlight? Let's decode science, geopolitics and India's strategic roadmap through UPSC lens. Let's begin today's video and again we will begin with newspaper headlines. Recently on I guess 4th of this July, there was newspaper on the Hindu. Rare earth crunch a bigger issue for auto firms than expected. This is recently, this news was recently there in the Hindu, right? Another news was siege rare earth opportunity. Again, this is a developing story. A counter to China quad to create critical mineral supply chain. Quad, it is about India, Australia, Japan and United States. They are launching initiative to secure supply chains of critical minerals, right? Today I was reading in a newspaper, China's rare earth exports clamp down, curbs backfire as local magnet makers reel from demand collapse, revenue plunge and inventories pile up despite US deal. Okay, this is the developing news. Some of you must have come across this, rare earth metal term first time in your life, But if you read newspaper regularly, then you will understand how things are developing and slowly you can build your concepts, right? Today, I am going to tell you why this is important for you. If you go through the syllabus of General Studies paper 3 or paper 4, this is about technology, economic development, biodiversity, environment, security and disaster management. But particularly if you look at this section, Indian economy and issue relating to planning, mobilization of resources, growth, development and employment. And apart from this, if you look at this, liberalization part in your syllabus, you will come across effects of liberalization on economy, change in industrial policy and their effects on industrial growth. This section directly, related, but I mean these rare earth, metals can be directly related to this, topic in your syllabus. For example, why it is relevant? India's effort to reduce REE important dependence, especially from China, right? We'll come to know why it is so. Government initiative to boost mining and value chain development, Kabul critical mineral policy, we are going to talk about that, okay? If you talk a pure science part, science and technology, in particular, if you were to talk about science and technology in space, technology for that matter, it is in another page, right? So you will come across this term, clean energy tech like solar panels, wind turbines, electronics and semiconductors, space and defense applications, green hydrogen and EV battery, supply chains. All of these things are somehow related to rare earth metals. Okay, so let me ask you a simple question first. What are rare earth metals? And apart from, the purpose of this video is to make you prepare, in a sense you have integrated preparation. You cannot prepare alone for preliminary examination or mains examination or interview. You have to pass, unfortunately you might say, all the three stages at one go, right? If you fail at one stage, you are ultimately, failed, right? So that is one serious thing about this examination. So you have to first start preparing for mains examination. You must have, mains answer writing practice, and you can write few answers like what are rare earth metals, examine their critical role in emerging technology, discuss the challenges and opportunity for India in a developing sustainable rare earth chain, right? Okay, this is for science and technology plus economy part. Another question you could write, international relations and strategic affairs. It is again in GS paper 3. China's dominance in rare earth supply chain is increasingly being used as tool of geopolitical leverage. Right? Discuss the implication of this for global technology and India's strategic autonomy. तो ये लेक्चर जो मैं कर रहा हूँ आपके साथ, this is not sufficient. Not any lecture is sufficient. This is giving you kind of a kick start. You have to follow the developing stories, right? This is the story which has been, coming into focus for last 3 months, I guess, from the first week of April, right? When China put ban on these 7 critical minerals, right? Okay, so you should be following newspaper sincerely, keep an eye कि क्या होने वाला है आगे, and you should be writing answers like that, right? अगला question, economic policy and industrial growth, discuss the economic significance of rare earth elements for India's industrial and green energy ambition. They are talking of EV. This was the news today about or 2 days ago about EV, right? So, what steps has the Indian government taken to reduce dependence on imports? Another question. Identify the major rare earth mineral reserves in India. This is again important part, resource distribution. It is part of GS paper 1 and 3 and you understand it very well. This also, overlap with your preliminary examination, right? What geographical and environmental challenges does India face in mining and processing of these elements? You will come to understand why they are called rare and interestingly they are not rare actually. Okay. Another question you should be writing sustainability and environment part. Rare earth mining poses significant environmental risk despite its strategic importance. Suggest a balanced approach to exploiting REE resources in India while ensuring ecological sustainability. Okay, these questions are for your mains answer writing practice, but not only for mains answer writing practice. There is overlap, answer writing practice. Answer writing practice. Okay, there is overlap with PT also. So make sure and wish you all the best of luck कि आप एक ही स्टेज में पास करना है सब कुछ. तो जब आप मेंस की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं तो एट द सेम टाइम यू शुड बी व्हेन यू पास पीटी एग्जामिनेशन you should be able to write very good answer, right? So your preparation should be kind of integrated one, right? Okay, my question was the following. I hope if you can hear me. So my question is the following. If my voice is clear now, if you know what? So if you have heard this term first time in your life about rare earth metals, then let me tell you, you have seen periodic table in your high school science, right? This is periodic table, and let me tell you, in this periodic table, like if you know a basic of periodic table, these are called S block elements. This entire thing is called P block elements. This dark green colored elements are basically, they are non-metals, right? And this block is called P block and these two blocks are called F blocks. But if you look at these elements, these lanthanides, basically these are called a lanthanide series 57, atomic number 57 to 71. They are called, essentially they are called these rare earth. And apart from these 15, there are two more, right? This one, Scandinavium and yttrium. These are rare earth metals, right? So let me show you another picture, right? This yttrium, Scandinavium, yttrium, and these lanthanide, cerium, praseodymium, neodymium, promethium, samarium, europium. And interesting thing about these 17 elements, these 17 rare earth elements, REM, rare earth metals. Okay, they their symbol, atomic symbol is basically their first two letters, in their name, right? Okay, these 64 to 71 are called basically heavy rare earth, right? And they are called light earth rare, right? Lanthanium, cerium, praseodymium, and so on and so forth. Okay, these are 17 earth metals. I hope you have understood the basic. So rare earth metals are, let me tell you, they are not rare, right? Okay, so if I were to tell you, these metals are not rare actually. The rare earth metals, these rare earth metals are abundant. They are plentiful, they are plentiful. They are abundant in nature, abundant in nature. Let me tell you this thing, right? They are abundant in nature. Okay, but in terms of deposit, by the way, you should underline the word in terms of deposit. They are not rare actually. But then why rare? The question is, but why we call them rare earth metals? How many of rare earth metals are there? Let me tell you, there are 17 chemically. They are 17 chemically and physically. Physical properties भी क्या उनकी same है? Physically identical elements. Identical elements. Okay. In terms of resources also, where they are found, and they are called basically rare earth metals. They are called rare earth metals. हाई स्कूल साइंस में आपने हो सकता है ये वर्ड ना सुना हो, इफ यू हैव नॉट डन साइंस कोर्सेज, राइट, रेयर अर्थ मेटल्स. बट इफ यू हैव डन साइंस कोर्सेज देन you must have heard of lanthanide and actinide series. Actinide series are basically, there are radioactive elements like thorium, uranium and so on and so forth, okay. And these 17 chemically and physically identical elements are called rare earth, metals, right. They are 15. So if they are 15 lanthanide elements, atomic number 57 to 71, and plus 2, one is scandium, okay, scandium and yttrium, okay, yttrium. But again, let's talk about, so why they are called rare if they are abundant. They are abundant, but they are because they are found in a very small quantity, they are rare because found in very small amount. They are found in very small amount, and they are mixed with all kind of minerals. That is one thing about rare earth metals. They are mixed with all kind of minerals. Therefore, difficult extraction. So there is difficulty in extraction. Okay, difficulty in extractions and processing basically, and difficulty in processing. Okay, for example, making them useful for industrial applications. Okay, it means making them useful for industrial applications. It is very difficult, and that is why they are called rare earth metals. Okay, all right. So internationally, if you want to look at the data, China, which we were going to talk, China is by far, the dominant producer. China is dominant producer. Okay, China is by far dominant producer and account for approximately 60% of mine production internationally. 60% of mine production. Okay, 60% of mine production and 90% of global production supply. 90% of processing earth metals. And that is why China is a dominant player. Therefore, China is very powerful player in this rare earth metals. Okay, so it controls 90% of global production supply. So what it does, controls 90% of global production supply. है ना? So this ban is critically important. It has serious repercussions on tech sector, green energy sector for that matter. Okay, so if you want to talk about India for that matter, let's talk about India a basic data about India. If you look at the basic map of India, okay, so this portion basically, including West Bengal, portion of West Bengal. Let me use another color pen so that you could make basic sense. This portion like this, West Bengal region, for example, part of Odisha also, part of Odisha also, part of Andhra Pradesh, coastal region of Andhra Pradesh, let me tell you, coastal region of Andhra Pradesh, then Tamil Nadu, all coastal region basically, right? Tamil Nadu and part of this, Kerala. There are rich Kerala, right? Okay, Kerala. So there are rich deposits of, rare earth metals. These are the area where you get these rare earth metals. Okay, so you can look at this area. Okay, they are rich in rare earth metals. Okay, and specifically, primarily monazite is found in Kerala. Kerala sands, monazite. Monazite mineral is found, which has also thorium with it. Okay, thorium plus rare earth elements, REE for rare earth elements. And one problem with this thorium is then it is radioactive. It is radioactive. It is a radioactive material. So there are very serious concern about production of rare earth metals in India, right? India accounts, if you were to talk about, and apart from these areas, a bit smaller at Gujarat, Maharashtra, a bit at Karnataka also, Jharkhand region also, a small amount of RE are found. Okay, for India, let me tell you one thing about India. Around 6% of global reserves. 6% of global reserves. 6% ऑफ ग्लोबल रिजर्व. दुनिया का 6% के करीब रेयर अर्थ कहां पर है? केवल इंडिया में है ना. बट माइनिंग इज लेस देन बट माइनिंग इज लेस देन 1%. Now that is the problem, because that is the problem is technology, right? All right. Okay, so let's apart from this, this data, let me tell you why rare earth metals are important. You could have two broad categories, like light rare earth elements, for example praseodymium and neodymium. They are used in electrical vehicles, wind turbines, semiconductors. But you could also divide it two broad categories, right? Two broad categories. Okay, one is categories. These rare earth metals are basically okay, let me write. These rare earth metals are basically used for military purposes, military uses and non-military uses. You can say non-military uses. Non-military uses, particularly non-military uses, have two broad things: medicine, medical technology, and apart from this medical technology, you have this one, energy transition. For energy transition, right? So if you were to talk about, suppose military uses, in where these rare earth metals are used for military. For example, you have precision missiles, they are part of precision missile, है ना. आजकल मिलिट्री कैपेबिलिटी के बारे में बहुत बात होती है, तो you should understand why rare earth metals are important, right? Apart from this, for example, night vision technology. Night vision technology के जो हार्डवेयर्स होते हैं, in those hardwares rare earth metals play very important role. Radars, for example, radars are using these rare earth metals, right? Apart from this, jet fighters, for that matter, right? Jet fighters also use these rare earth metals. Okay, so cutting edge hardware, they are part of cutting edge hardware. Cutting edge hardware. Okay, hardware, right? So if you were to talk about energy sector, these are energy sector. For example, electrical vehicles. In particular, for electrical vehicles, recent news was about NDFEB. This is about neodymium iron boron. Iron boron. This particular mineral is used for strong magnet. It produces strong magnetic field. Remember this thing, strong magnet, right? Strong magnetic field. It produces strong magnetic field. Therefore, used for electrical vehicles, motors. Electrical vehicles में जो motors होते हैं वहां पर use होता है. For example, dysprosium. Dysprosium is used for electrical vehicle, wind turbines, nuclear reactor, semiconductor. Most importantly, as I was saying, like for medical technology, X-ray machines, and you need powerful magnets for MRI machines also. So without these rare earth metals, you cannot have MRI machines. They are important for your medical facilities, right? Medical, magnetic resonance imaging, right? Apart from this, terbium is used X-rays, high temperature fuel cells, electric vehicles, wind turbines, and semiconductors. And let me take you to those 7 elements which were recently banned by China, and then you will understand these 7 elements are basically banned by China recently. And let me tell you, these 7 earth metals are, those were, okay, rare earth metal China restricted for export, 7 out of 70. This samarium is used for headphones, optical lasers, and nuclear reactor. Again, technology, green energy. This is part for green energy. You are developing, any country has to develop nuclear reactors also, right? Then another was gadolinium. This gadolinium is used for making magnets, magnets, cancerous tumors के लिए जो data storage के लिए होता है वहां पर भी इसको यूज करते हैं. Then terbium, we have used low energy light bulbs, mercury lamps, medicals, X-rays, right? Dysprosium, this is used in wind turbines, electrical vehicles, nuclear reactor, control roads. Okay, so this is about dysprosium, right? So they are also used for example, car motors. If you want to know a bit more, right? Car motors, they are also used for hard disk. This dysprosium, it is very important. And then there is luteum. This luteum is used for cancer therapies, electronic, and apart from cracking hydrocarbons, for example, PETs. In PET, this lutetium is also used. Okay, PET scanners, for example, in PET scanners. Even it is used for petroleum refinery. I guess you have understood. You must have got idea how much important these rare earth elements are. Scandium, this scandium is Russian MiG fighter planes में use होता है, high end bicycle frames and baseball bats में use होता है scandium, right? So this scandium is also very important, and particularly you should remember this MiG fighter planes. They are part of फाइटर प्लेन्स, एल्यूमिनियम अलॉइंग के साथ, है ना, एल्यूमिनियम अलॉय के साथ यूज होते हैं ये, याद रखना. दिस यट्रियम कैंसर ट्रीटमेंट में यूज होता है, व्हाइट एलईडी बल्ब्स में यूज होगा, है ना, कैंसर ट्रीटमेंट एंड कैमरा लेंस. अदरवाइज यू शुड रिमेंबर कैंसर ट्रीटमेंट, राइट? एंड इवन यू शुड रिमेंबर इट फॉर सुपर कंडक्टिंग मटेरियल, सुपर कंडक्टर्स. That is what is the beauty of these 7 rare earth metals. Okay, all right, let me tell you something. Okay, why they are used in almost all the industry? Why so wide applications, wide range of applications? Can you guess why it is so? Why it is so? Because you should always develop a reasoning habit, why something is happening, why something is not happening. Because they enabled our technology. They enabled our technology to get smaller, to get packed, to get smaller, faster and stronger. Faster and stronger, है ना? बड़े बड़े मैग्नेट्स की जगह छोटे छोटे मैग्नेट्स यूज हो रहे हैं, राइट? This is what is the beauty of these rare earth metals, and that is why they are most talked. This makes them, they are most talked these days, because they are part of all cutting edge technology, right? All right, so before winding up this video, we should quickly discuss. Let me show you another slide. What India is doing, what is government's plan? Government has planned this national critical mineral mission in 2025. This is the program launched by government of India. This is umbrella program, basically. This is umbrella program. And this umbrella program, it also consists of these rare earth elements or rare earth metals, basically. Okay, so this also includes 1200 exploration projects. This is what the part of this Geological Survey of India के साथ they are tasked with conducting 1200 exploration projects. Okay, they are also thinking about awarding exploratory licenses, okay, exploratory licenses, and robust domestic, and therefore making robust domestic capabilities. इसके अलावा हमने भी बात की थी क्वाड, है ना, capabilities, right? So there is international collaboration is also going on to against these restrictions, right? If you want to know a bit more, REEL, which is Indian Rare Earth Limited, was incorporated on 18th August 1950, right? It works under or operates under Department of Energy, DAE, Department of Atomic Energy, right? So just know about this. And what is the significance? What is the vision of this? To be a significant contributor to global clean energy mission by providing high quality performance enhancing materials and operating in a socially responsible manner. Just read about it, okay? But the idea was following, this video has given you a kick start to read about, this development story which is going on about that, which started from rare earth metals, these 7 metals which were, restricted by China. And, today there was news about this China's rare earth exports clamped down. Again, the news earlier was about a counter to China Quad to create critical mineral supply and chain. So, wish you all the best, and please write down answer to these questions which I have given to you. And if you want to write answers, if you have any problem, you can comment below. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like, share button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so very much. See you guys until next time.